American Indian Language Development Institute, and through Chipkin, sa Awabakal Department of Linguistics, mo medyo chilita Chipkin and Barsham Chu, Mississippi, Jum, the Paliapi, much more, the other kaya ita, the opportunity, the Akim, the Humuya Itadak, Yaka, and Barsham Chu, Matsilupa kami, Ishan Ita, Aldi, and Nakom and Jiwan, and and I am going to be a man when I'm going to get that and I'm list to me. And she said, yeah, that's Martita Chipton, much similar. The Malum, or Yanum Chipton, Alex Dunwich, the bomb merchant at Aldi Chipton offices. It's my pleasure to welcome you all. My name is Ophelia Cepeda, and I'm the director of ALDI, the American Indian Language Development Institute. I'm also faculty in the Department of Linguistics, where that is my home department. And of course, just taking this opportunity to welcome the ALDI participants. The ALDI participants are required to attend our sessions that we have throughout the month of June. But of course, I want to extend a nice welcome to those of you who are visiting us just for this talk. I recognize some of our former ALDI participants and of course, the supporters of ALDI and the things that we do here. So I appreciate that very much and welcome to our talk. Before I introduce our guest speakers today, I do want to remind you that we have another talk next week. This one is hosted by our cohort that is here with us this summer, the C teachers, the C program. And so next week's talk is by Professor Jose Antonio Flores Farfan. Professor Farfan has been very active in the area of language revitalization in Mexico. And many of the scholars in the U.S. who work in the same area are very familiar with his work and are very supportive of the efforts in Mexico. So he'll be presenting a talk next Wednesday, June 18th from 11:45 to 12:45 in this room. So we invite you to come back. Dr. Farfan also works in the area of technology, primarily producing curriculum and literature in the indigenous languages of Mexico. So he'll have lots of interesting information to share with us next week. So we invite you back for that, those of you who are not part of the ALDI. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome our guests, and I hope if you get a chance, they'll be here today and then hosting a workshop tomorrow all day for us, those of you that have already registered. Unfortunately, those of you that are hearing about it for the first time, it is closed. We've sort of run out of room. So it's been we've had a very popular response to the workshop that will be held tomorrow. But anyway, if you get a chance, please make sure that you visit with our guests because they did come from such a long way. And for us here, for all the people, it's important to give time and appreciation for people that travel. So we appreciate it that they traveled so far. And so they come to us from Australia. So we're very, very happy that they made it here safely. And they'll be here in the Southwest actually for a while. They're sort of on a tour of sorts. They're leaving here. When they're done here, they'll be going to Texas, to Arlington, where they'll be also doing some work there with my former student and colleague, Dr. Colleen Fitzgerald at the Colin Institute. And then from there, they go see our good friend in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and our friends and colleagues there at the Indigenous Languages Institute, ILI, again in San Fe. They'll be running another workshop there as well. So we're very happy that they made their first stop here in Tucson, in Chushon, and we welcome them to Awabakal country, and we hope that they have a nice visit, even though they're not here for that long. The presenters today is our good friend, Daryn McKenny, and his colleague, Alison Suter. And they'll also be facilitating the workshop together tomorrow. And I know Daryn best from his work, of course, and this is when he's coming from the project he's going to be talking about today and sharing with us tomorrow. And that is all about Miromaa. And those of you who are not familiar with it, you should look at their website, and it's a very, very informative website, actually. And Miromaa, the center does a number of things. It's one of those centers that I think, you know, a place like Arizona should have. And as far as we know, we don't have anything like that. Because it is a center that provides not only technical support specific to the technology he's going to be talking about today and tomorrow, but also all types of educational training, primarily for non-credit, so it's open to community members and so forth. They also do publication and production of digital learning materials for different languages of Australia. So they are very busy, and I think a very important center for Australia and for all of the language communities that they work with. So you'll hear much more about some of their projects as they are here with us today and tomorrow. So would you please give a nice welcome to Daryn McKenny and Alison Su.
Do I need to use the microphone? Yes. Okay. Sorry, tech demon already started. It's already hit me. Give me 1 second.
To me, language is very important. Like I often say to the young people, you lose your language, you lose everything.
I am a descendant of the Gungalita people. I don't know what the language was.
If I can speak my language, Kalkadoon, I'd feel more at home.
The importance of it is language identifies you.
I don't actually speak the language. Not many people do. Well, not that I know of anyway, because, well, majority of Kalkadoons were lost on Black Mountain fighting the English. If I could, I would pass it on to my children.
Why I care so much about the cultural matters and language, because as a child, you know, I practiced the traditional laws, the traditional language. Even to this day, I still practice them.
And there is Kalkadoon, like learning it on the internet, but it's just not the same. Like how you're meant to know it's pronounced properly, like it's very different saying it.
It's about time that we take control of teaching people who we are through our language.
Wanakalawa, Kaiyantin, Yanawa, Natawa, Daryn. Hi everyone, my name's Daryn. Thank you very much for the introduction and very much warm welcome and invitation to be here as well to Ophelia, to Alice and Audrey who have helped, and everyone here at I've got an Australian accent. So yeah, just on that part, I'm not sure if many Australians have actually came and presented here. I'm going to try and do my best to not use many Australian terms and give blank faces, but I'm going to see what happens, okay? And try and talk, I don't know if I talk too quick, so I'm going to slow down a bit. My grandparents in 1935 had to leave their country, Gomeroi country, a place called Coonabarabran, out in the middle of the state, and I'll show you in a moment where that actually sits in Australia there. And in 1935 they had to get their children. They had at that time, I think it was 5 children, and move to a place where there were no missions. In our country at that time, the Australian government was setting up had already set up and were running Aboriginal missions, and they were putting our families on these missions, as well combined with the churches. They were taking our children away. And my nan and pop didn't want that to happen, so they moved to a place where missions was as far away as they possibly could. The police force were running the reserves, and they weren't a good place to be either. So in 1935 they picked up the family and they moved to the east coast of Australia. I'll get to show you. This is a place called Sydney, 2 hours north. You may have heard of Sydney. I think it's one place I think everyone may have heard of from Australia. The 2 hours north, just driving, is Australia's second oldest town, called Newcastle, and that's where they. Is this working fine? Yep. And that's where they moved to. My dad was born there. I was born there, and my children were born there as well. So even though we're from another country as such, Gomeroi country, and we're very proud of our Aboriginal heritage to that country there, we've grown up on someone else's. And it's that which I'm going to talk to you about, is that journey which I and those that have come with me have been on over the last 14 years, I think it is. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about is our journey, and I would love to introduce you to our country, our language situation at home. Our language is, of course, tied directly to our identity, and so forth there, and what we're doing about that, and our role in trying to help there. So here's Aboriginal Australia. This is our island, and you can see it's a colourful map, and the colours are all actually representing the various nations. And we have over 250 plus nations ourselves, and it's just about over here where my nan and pop were. Nan and pop were both born on country here, and I know we can't read it as such, but here on the coast, Sydney is just about here, and this is Awabakal country, and where the town of Newcastle is, it's just in this spot here. But yeah, we like it. It's representative, and I think it hits people in the face, back home, because our education system still just talks about the 8 states and territories, I think it is, that we have. Quick geography lesson on me then, and it mainly talks. It just talks about those. What come after the British came, and this is just still part of forgotten history as far as they're concerned. So it was in the year 2000. I was actually working for a communications company similar to, I think, AT&T. I was an account executive, and I was managing business portfolios, making sure the communications were all in place. ADSL hadn't been invented then, but looking after their telephones and their mobile phones and all their data and access to the internet and devising all those things. That's what I was doing in 2000. In October 2000, I was getting to, I'd been there for quite a while, and I was getting to the end of it, actually come across an opportunity to work in community. And for me, something changed, and I thought, yep, I'm going to give that a go. And I was successful in getting that position in community there. And where I was working was on a property, 7 acres. I'm pretty sure acres is something you talk about here. So it was 7 acres of land, and 5 acres of the land was dedicated to bush tucker trails. And what we did was we opened that property up to schools and community groups and so forth to come and visit and go on tours. They would have a 1-hour cultural tour. Myself and my best friend Aby and I ran these. He did the cultural talk and I did the bush tucker walk, to talk about the plants and the food properties and the medicinal properties and all that type of stuff, and enjoy going out. And when Aby did the cultural talks, we had paintings on the walls, and one of them, I remember distinctly, but one of those paintings spoke about, has anyone heard of one of our animals called, or seen, kangaroo? Yeah, it's got a long tail. And this story, which was painted on the wall, actually spoke about how the kangaroo got its tail. And we'd sit there and we'd tell, and we had all of our tools and weapons there. We'd hold up a spear and an axe and a boomerang and all sorts of things there, and spoke about all of those things for an hour, and it was great. But after of doing that for, I think it was about a year and a half or something, something was wrong. We knew we weren't connecting ourselves properly, and what happened was it dawned on us that we didn't have our language. Everything which we were saying was in English. We were using someone else's language. The true meanings and the understandings of what we were saying was lost within the translation there. We only spoke English ourselves, or Australian English. And we thought, no, here we are, we're Aboriginal and proud of it. We can't speak a word of our language. I'll go back a step. Newcastle, if you remember earlier, I said is the 2nd oldest town in Australia. So Sydney is where the British came. They brought 7 boats out. The first boat people came to our island, and they set up in Sydney and decided to send the convicts a bit further north to Newcastle. So they actually set up the first convict settlement in Newcastle in Australia. And that map which I showed you earlier, the Awabakal nation is actually one of the smallest Aboriginal nations in the whole of Australia. And because of that size, of population, of land area, and then the impact of the Europeans coming to that land so early, then they had big impacts upon the people and the language and the way of life. Their land was taken away very, very quickly. And what happened, so this is all happening in the late 1700s. Our country's a very young country. In 1824, a fellow by the name of Lancelot Threlkeld, an English fella, was sent from England to Australia to establish the first Aboriginal mission in Australia in 1824. And he established that mission in Newcastle, in our town there. And which I've read, he was sent by the London Missionary Society. And in his letter of orders is in one particular line, you are to preach the gospel of Luke and Mark to make better people of the wild natives. That was his orders. I'll go on to, I'll show you. That's the fella on the right, not the guy on the left, but the fella on the right, that's Threlkeld. And 1824 he started to preach. And what he quickly learned, but as he was bringing in what he called the blacks, bringing in the blacks onto his property, into the mission there to teach, is what he quickly worked out is that he couldn't preach, they weren't interested, because they didn't understand English. So he set about learning the language. And the guy on the left, Miromaa, is the person who friended Threlkeld and assisted him in doing that. So Miromaa actually set about helping Threlkeld out, Lancelot Threlkeld, to translate the Gospels of Luke and Mark into Awabakal, the language of that land there. So he could maybe get the blacks to come onto his mission and actually hold their attention for a bit longer, because he had to make better people of them. And in 1834, just 10 years later, that mission shut down and was no longer. The town was a mess. It was very, very bad. By 1850, the majority of Aboriginal people had left. There was only a few little pockets of people scattered here and there. And we think maybe 1860, 1870, conversation had probably well and truly had stopped. So what happens when conversation stops? If there's one person left and they're the only one who's speaking it, we say that they're a bit crazy, talking to himself, but when conversation stops, the language is not. So it's been a long time. It stopped and it still wasn't there. So here we are back in 2001, probably by then, on country, no language. Looking for our identity, couldn't find it as such. So I think it was late 2001. Amy and I said we're not doing these cultural talks and bush tucker tours anymore. We can find someone else to do it. We want the language, and we started looking for it. It was scattered around the place in some street signs and some place names and so forth, but we still didn't. Community didn't have it. We didn't have any evidence of language. We'd heard about this guy. You can see the book that he's got in his hand. We'd heard about this guy, and but we didn't have the book. And and we sort of put the word out a bit. And I don't know how long it was down the track there, but someone gave us a call and said, "Hey, brothers, I think I found that book you're looking for." And it was like, "Really? Okay, where's it at?" "It's down in Sydney." "Okay, we'll get it. How much is it?" $500. Say what? $500 for a book? Like, all I bought back then was magazines for $5, $4. Like, let alone $500 for a book. My God. Anyway, right up. Hung up and was like, "Where are we going to get the money from?" We don't know what we're going to do. So I was like, someone help us anyway. I don't know how. I can't remember now how we did it. We might have robbed it somewhere. I don't know who knows what we did. If we did, we're not telling anyone, okay? I can make up a really good story there, hey? You just wouldn't know whether I was telling the truth or not. I'm not actually really from Australia. So, got the money, drove to Sydney, 2 hours driving, we got the book. Bought it, brought it back home. And it was like, wow. I brought the book. I should be doing this. The book which we purchased for $500 was actually published in 1892. Threlkeld, during his years, his first book he published on the language in 1834, and it was called simply this, An Australian Grammar, published in 1834. Everyone can hear me okay? Is it okay not to have the mic at the moment? And then he had 2 subsequent publications a decade or 2 after. And this particular book here in 1892 is a publication which brought his 3 books together. And I ain't religious, but I'm thanking everyone at the moment, because his 1834 book, it actually become available for sale about 18 months ago. We heard about it for sale in Sydney. Thought, oh man, here we go again, $500, damn. So it brings up the place where it was for sale. And it was at a rare bookshop. Okay, 1834, yeah. And I said, you got that book? He says, yeah, we got that book. And how much is on that book? He says, you know, this book's called The Black Pearl. No. Hang on, has he been racist or discriminating? He can't see me, so I don't know. But he said, yeah, it's the Black Pearl of books in Australia. This is the 1834 book. I said, why? He says, because the current price is $45,000. And big long pause on that phone. $45,000. Serious? That's our language in that. And you're telling me that we have got to pay a lot of other words, $1,000 to get that book. There's a lot of robbing we've got to do, but we didn't do any robbing. Everything's legal, okay? Everything's legal. I'm going to be careful going to Texas, so that's FBI's over that way, hey? Anyway, we've done enough. Yeah, so I was like, right, put that phone down and just forgot about it. At least we had this, okay? And what happened was, so this is back in about 2002 where this book come into our possession. And she's a delicate thing. It is delicate. I've got the gloves on, and people wear the gloves, lady, you can come and have a look at it and so forth. But we opened it up, and we started looking at the front, and there's a map of country, little map here that folds out and so forth there. The place was called, it says here, so this book was called, the first one was called An Australian Grammar. Remember the first Aboriginal mission in Australia. His work, that guy actually did, and I'll probably say that Birabin did all the hard work and he just took the glory, but it was the first in-depth study of a language in Australia. The first in-depth study. It was actually the first publication. That's why that book is valued at $45,000. We're one of the youngest countries in the world. Pretty sure we're one of the youngest. Yet by 1850, And already, language loss was hard. And we are talking language loss. Our place, no speakers. That was the situation. So we get this book here, and we started to open it up, and we go, oh, God knows what he's saying there, and God knows what's going on there. Oh, get into it. Introduction. Man, he likes to introduce himself a lot. Introduction. Oh, then we get the author's preface. It's like, we're going, what have we bought for $500 here? And then we go to the grammar. We go, grammar? I dropped out of English. No, I dropped out of high school, and I didn't, I wasn't, anyway. That's another story. The grammar, we're going, what's it? We don't know. What a declension of the noun and pronouns. Hey, we know what noun is, but pronouns, got no idea. Got no idea. Tense. You're tense? I'm tense. This book cost us $500. It's like, oh dear. So the grammar, and illustrative sentences. Who heard Pierce will? It's not going to help us. Take thou that. None of this stuff's helping us at all. And it's like, then we get to the key. An analysis of the particles used as affixes. I'm still going through. Where? There it is. What we were looking for. The goal. And it's simply this, the vocabulary. That's all we were looking for. It's the word list. That's what we wanted. We had no idea what else was going on. We just wanted the words. And kokera, a native hut. Mawani, kangaroo. Mawani, kangaroo? We thought kangaroo was kangaroo. No, 250 plus languages on our country. Just like here. You cross border, it changes. Everything changes. Language changes. The meaning, it all changes. Just like in Europe and Asia. Go through Europe and Italy, France, Germany, changes. Go into Asia. Every time you cross a border, everything's changing. And the same thing here. It's like, wow, man, where's Mawani got his tail? You can start talking language. It's like we started wanting to tell the story again. And it wasn't boomerang we were holding up, it was Daramara. It wasn't an axe we were holding up, it was bye-bye. Wow, we were just like excited again. We were speaking, it was the words, we just weren't speaking ourselves, but they were talking to us, they were touching us. And things were coming out from within the words, which was more than just an English translation. But that's what we wanted out of all that. We just wanted the word list. But have a look at this book. So I was like, it's old, cost $500. And we were worried. So I was like, let's just get the words out. We just wanted to get the words out. Is anyone here from a language area, home, where language loss has occurred like this? Like what I've spoken about already? Yeah? So some people here can relate to where we're at. Some people here will know and understand and know that stuff's at risk. We've got 10 speakers, we've got 50, we've got 100, we've got, we're fine, we've got 10,000. Or it's not. It could be the opposite. So this experience which I got and some other people here can relate to, can understand all of a sudden this. This type of thing, this is just, So the book is like, I don't believe I brought this all the way to here. It's like as long as those Qantas guys, American Airlines all good for like not losing luggage. Just like, imagine going home and said, glad we didn't buy that $45,000 book and you took that over there, Darren. But there's the book and it's like, okay, what do we do? And it was, let's just get the words out of there. Let's grab the computer. Yeah, I dropped out of high school, but when I dropped out of high school, I was working part-time and I was studying at college, and it was a thing back then called data processing. A couple of years later, they coined this other term called information technology. That's the start of IT. But when I started, it was data processing, is what it was called then, and I was learning to program and those things. So at least I wasn't afraid, because I failed English, but I got 98% in maths all the time. And I'm sort of more, is it right or it's wrong? None of the other stuff. So I was like, yeah, cool. I was okay with the computer. So on the computers, we had Microsoft Excel. We'd get the book, we'd start on page 1, and we just started taking the words out. Let's just get everything out and put it into a list in Excel. Microsoft Excel, so we could have the word, what translation was, and whereabouts we sort of found that in the book. And guess what? I got a printout of that list. This is the first printout of that list I've brought with me too. This has been around, but this is that list. This is that Excel spreadsheet printed out. I know people still doing this today. Not everyone is advanced and uses Excel. A lot of the times people are just using Microsoft Word and putting it into tables. Has anyone done that before? Yeah, we've got a yes. Yeah? So it's so you can relate to that. Hey, we're putting it into this, we're getting it out, but have a look how many words we found. I think there's about 2,200 words in this list here. We pulled out, and we had a couple of street signs with some words on it back home, a couple of place names, some suburbs were named up using Aboriginal words because they sounded pretty, like Burroo and Wonderland and Gorican and so forth, some nice, pretty sounding words. Hate to use the word tokenistic. Don't like to throw it out there, but deep down you sort of think, maybe. Because they never ever continued to say what that word meant when they made that named that suburb that place, what was special about it and so forth. And it was just, you've got an idea what I mean by that. But here's that list. That's what we did. We had this. And can I change slides? Oh, there's a picture of Avey I didn't show you. So that's Avey. Basically, I call him my brother. And there's that book. And we actually got the newspaper because we brought this book back. They wrote a story about us. The language of the lake about to resurface with special study. So we actually got some dollars to help us. After the book got us some interest, and we went to the Australian government who had a language program for funding, and they gave us some money to get us started. $25,000 to get us started. Wow, that was unreal. Still not enough to go buy that $45,000 book, but yeah. Do I keep with that slide for a moment? So in 2004, so the money which we were getting, in 2004, the Australian government decided to, let's go do a study of all of the money which we're giving to the Aboriginal language programs in Australia, and let's see how good they're going. We'd like to know. So they contracted in our area I don't know if I'd say, can I use the term like junior linguist? That's someone who's just out of just got their thing and just started up, and they contracted a non-Aboriginal person who had just finished their degree, started in linguistics, to write a report of the language programs. So we were one of the the smaller ones, $25,000, some of them were getting up to $85,000, $100,000 a year to bring their language back, or to record their language, teach their language, all sorts of different things in that there. And we thought, oh, unreal. We were the last ones for her to visit, and when she came, Abby and I would excite us all, anything. We had this. We had a book where all of this had come from, and we showed her that, and plus much, much more. That's really scary, me seeing that there, okay?
It's okay.
So we spent a day with her, and we're telling her, spoke about the community meetings we were holding, and the words were starting to come back, and we were using them, and we were able to use this, and it's like, it's really good. We left the day, she drove off in her little car, like this, and it's like Abby and I were high five, and it was good. We felt good. We felt, wow, this is good. We're gonna, we've showed how good we're going. 2,000 words. We had lucky to have half a dozen when we started. We found this. 3 months later, the report come out. And the report, we got a phone call from one of the guys higher up in the government, and they said, it ain't good. We're going, what? We got that, we went and got it, had a look at it. They said, we looked at the skip right at the end, and the conclusion. We recommend that this money should be withdrawn, that the program should be defunded, because they are not using the services of a professional, suitably qualified academic or linguist. 2 Aboriginal guys were doing it, myself and Abe and I. And we're just like, man, we're just, what? Anyway, got on the phone, started ringing around. We had to do our own little campaign trail to, hang on, stop, give us a chance. We've got to, we can't take this money away from us. We found this, we're starting to speak and everything. And this is one of the first languages in Australia to be stopped being spoken. And we were starting to bring it back there. And we got a saving grace. So another religious name. Thank you for that book and all that type of stuff. Is it okay if I still don't use the mic? Am I okay? Or do I have to use the mic? I'm okay?
Prefer the mic.
You prefer the mic? Okay. So we got 1 year. They said, you got 1 year chance. Get your act together, boys. Rightio. So we ring up the linguist and we said to her, well, we don't want to talk about your report, but what's the go? How much is it actually going to cost us? We get 25 grand a year. You know that we do. What's it going to cost us to get a linguist or suitably qualified person to come in and work with us? And she said to us, okay, let me take that in. I'll do some ringing around, asking, and I'll let you know. And anyway, a week later, she rang up. Hi. Don't want to talk to you. Hi. I've got that information for you. Oh, cool. Rightio. You'd be looking at part-time casual, Darren, she says, you're looking around $550 a day for a junior linguist, up to around $800 a day for a doctor person. So calculator hour, 25,000 divided by $550, or let's go to the extreme and get the best. And we weren't even going to get like 40 days work out of our year funding. It was like, that's just absolutely, right, yeah, thanks. Put the phone down, don't want to talk to her, and I don't think I'll talk to her for a couple of years ever again. But she did one thing. She lit a fire in us, which still gets stoked every single day. It's big. We didn't employ anyone. We kept it employed us. It kept employing us. And we wanted to do this. These are our languages. This is our business. And nothing was going to stop us. We knew we had to get our act together, but secretly. So I was like, we've got to do something. Rightio, Amy, what do we do? What do we do? He says to me, Daryn, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? She says, well, what's the deal with that woman? She had a computer and there was a thingy on it. She had all language listed and said, what, a spreadsheet? No, she had something else and was doing all this other. Okay. She had a database on her computer and she could put stuff in it and do other little funny things. That's all we sort of remember. And well, let's look into it. Let's find out what's out there. If there is any tools to assist us. Is there anything to help us? Why do they get all the good stuff? They got things like, who's heard of Toolbox before? Or Shoebox? Or Lexic Pro? Am I going to get any of this? Has anyone heard of these things? Yeah? No? But they're the tools which the academics have. The Summer Institute of Linguistics, or a place called, they break it down to SIL, and have developed all these tools, these software applications, and a few other people to assist for language documentation and so forth there. Analysis and dissecting it, that's the science study, that's their stuff which helps them with their science of the language. So what's out there for us? Not worried, not scared of computers and so forth, and what's there for us? So there wasn't a Google then. We couldn't Google. We had to Yahoo. It was funny. We found the word for Yahoo in our book. Yeah, hairy man. It was like, can we get this $45,000 if we hold these guys to ransom? Is there Yahoo anywhere else in any other language? Yahoo any other language? We don't know if they've nicked it from our book. This is one of the first language books published probably in the world. We're talking 1834 when the first one came out. Not much of that was getting published still back then, I don't think. So the dollars were going on. Anyway, back to Yahoo. We found these programs, Toolbox, Shoebox, and it's like Toolbox is like Shoebox, and I can't find any tools in the Toolbox. I can't find, the Shoebox is full of all the receipts, and I can't find the receipts when that video player broke down and I had to take it back. I got nothing because I couldn't find it. It's always these things. They named their programs after the worst things in our house, where we put things, the place where we can't find, and it's like, that's where they're putting their language. And it's like, so I've got the programs and I've put them on the computer. I wasn't scared of computers because remember I was saying I started the program, and I could not do a thing. I could not enter one word into these programs. Not one. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. And we're stuck with it. And then a bit later I met this guy, a scout leader. He wanted to talk to us about helping some Aboriginal kids doing scouting. And he said, oh, what are you doing here? You're doing the language. And you showed him the spreadsheet. He says, why don't you use a database? And I go, what? I had that word again before. No, I was doing other things with computers. I wasn't worried about databases and access. Yeah, just make a Microsoft Access. Has anyone heard of that before? And so someone's heard of it. It's Microsoft's product for making databases. And okay, cool, rightio. So I'd started to look into it. What's next? And this is what came about. I made a program, an Access database, and it was, I think we were about 2004 then. I got invited to, we're still the young kids on the block in language. We got invited to a language meeting in Sydney. So remember, we've only got 8 states. Australia is about the size of the United States in land area. Okay? You've got how many states? Yeah, we can't count that far. We've only got 8. Still room for 2 more. Toes and fingers. So we got invited to a language meeting in Sydney, and I've gone down. Abe stayed at home. He says, "No, you go down there, right?" And right, yeah, okay. So I goes down there, took the computer, and this first ever language meeting in New South Wales, first ever, and it brought together key language people from all around. 2004. Okay, it's only 10 years ago, and brought together all the key people, the well-respected elders, teachers, community teachers, and so forth there, and other people who were just doing the hard work themselves in home and out on country and that there, and it was on the second day. So, like, because it was the first meeting, I don't know if community people here, we like to show and tell when we have a get together. So it took us a day and a half to get through everyone's show and tell, and it was on the second day was my turn just before lunch, and everyone had been showing up the books they'd been making, the storybooks, the posters, the flashcards with language on it, and beautiful pictures and everything, and their stories of country, and they were talking in language, and they come to my turn, and it was like all I had was the computer. So I took the computer up, and they had one of these things, and they connected it up. And I showed them our database. And that's actually all it was. That's what it was just then. It was our database where we put our Awabakal language in. And I showed them, took them through different entries, showed them some words, Moani and Bai for emu. Emu's like a smaller version of the ostrich, and some other things there, and flowers, and trees, and the words we'd found, and so forth there. And everyone was quiet. So I just went into a little shell, closed the lid of my laptop, and sat back down in the back of the room. Wow, that didn't go down at all. At all. I was like, right, yeah, okay, at least lunch is coming. I can go and get over my sorrows having lunch. And towards the end of lunch there, a couple of the elders, actually one person walked up to me, and they said, "Daryn," I said, it was like, I was expecting it wasn't really good, and you just need some help, and so forth, and that there. They said, "That program you got, can we get one?" Wow. Yeah. It's a lot of stuttering was happening. Okay, I need to take that in. I didn't know what to do. It's like we hadn't thought of that. We thought you'd have your own. You're going really, really good. You're speaking and doing all sorts. Oh, okay. A second and a third person did it to us as well. Wow. Okay. That was pretty special. So we took that away, and 18 months later, this was born on Awabakal country. And the word Miromaa is what we named it. And in our language, which we found in that book, Miromaa means saved. We'd entered our language into it, we'd fine-tuned this program, and it was about 2005 there, we made it available for sale. Wasn't free, because we were only getting little dollars and we needed money. We sold it for $550. Does anyone remember me what that? You've heard me say that? So the way we looked at it is $550, Daryn, that's too expensive. We can get Toolbox and Shoebox and Lexipro from free. They're downloaded from Yahoo and all of that stuff. It says, no, listen, just put your linguist, tell them to be sick, unpaid work, put them off for 1 day. Just put them off, save that $550 you're going to pay them, give it to us. We're going to give you this. They were then, for the first time, empowered to do the work. It wasn't just put it into an Excel spreadsheet, because the linguist actually was doing all of that. I was one of the rare ones putting it in a spreadsheet. They were able to start to do the work themselves. They actually had a tool made by us, for us, for the first time. So it was like, wow. And we sold 10 to another state. They bought it. It's like, wow, we're onto something here. And it was good. But we never ever sold any after that, because no one was in a position. You know, this is hard work. Language doesn't. So what we decided to do was, well, hang on, we're not about it for that as well. We're about it in helping people, stopping language loss and so forth. So what we did was we decided to make the program available through a sponsorship. We will sponsor them to have it. And the sponsorship is they get to get it for free. We're just playing with a few words and so forth and that there. And what we also did was in getting turned on, having to get our act together in all of this, we had to get smart. So this is today. This is moving forward to today. This is our staff, Terry Lee, who's actually a descendant of Miromaa. And there's Jackie and Carissa there. And what they're doing is that we just didn't find that book. We set ourselves on a big journey, and we found a lot of things there. And we've got everything filed away here. I think this is our lock cabinet. We're getting pretty smart with the way we're organised today. Everything's catalogued. We're just like a library or a museum and so forth there in a lot of respects there. She's got the glass, she must be getting a special book out. Terry Lee, that book ain't there, it's over here, okay? Oh, hang on, we've got two of them. That's actually a different book which she's pulled out, I think. Oh no, that's it. That's it, yeah, she's got that one. So, yeah, we're doing that now. We're also now, we're not just taking the words out, we're digitising the books themselves as well. So we're taking the photographs and making the digitised documents, and even down here, we started to
Walang, Miran, Warbang, Tina, Urayang, Lupro, Ngaitan,
speaking language.
Kaka.
And what's happening after all of that is that our team.
Okay, tonight into let's add a picture for it.
Entering that language.
Of this land we stand on today.
Nyatwa Terry Dasi, Nyatwa Awabakal.
We acknowledge our ancestors, our elders, and all those who have gone before them.
Nyatwa Wakaluba Anbarai. Nyatwa Nyarkalawa, Yalwa, and Yalwana.
As we have done since the dawn of time, we care for this land, which our great spirits have made for us to make sure our world is properly looked after. As we are part of the land, for we are its guardians, our story time is eternally present in the land and its waters. From the land of Miromaa, the Enoch, and as far as his eyes can see, I welcome you all to Awabakal country.
Parang Kamira, Miromaa, Parmakanda kanung pinikuan maya. Awabakal Awabakal.
Thank you.
Nankumakumba.
So when Aunt Phyllis, the elder there, was speaking, when Aunt Phyllis was 8 years of age, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, I think they in America, yeah. When Aunt Phyllis was 8 years of age, they took her away from her parents, her mum and her dad, and they sent her to the other side of our island, to actually right to the top, one of the furthest parts away, and put her on an Aboriginal mission up there, because she was one of the few that were left. And they discovered that she's Awabakal. It's like, we can't have that. So they took her when she was 8. She's about 75, I think it is now. And she moved up there and lived there till about 10 years ago, when she heard that we were bringing the language back. And Aunt Phyllis decided then it was time for her to come home. So for 67 years, she couldn't come back. She didn't want to come back home, but the language brought her back home. And Aunt has been with us in our supporting us and being our person keeping our eye on us and keeping us in line and so forth. And Terry Lee, her granddaughter, is one of our staff. She's invaluable now, of course, today. So, like, for a language which hadn't been spoken, for us to get to that stage is, we're pretty. I think that fire which was lit, is doing good. So I'd like to show you where Miromaa is today. You know how I said it got picked up? A few people bought it. So I'm starting up Google Earth. Hopefully, we're going to be live on the internet. Yep, we are. We're live on the internet. So this is Google Earth, and I'd like to show you where Miromaa is today. Don't get all like freaky out because that thing is going all over the place. Okay, just look away if you're getting all dizzy for a sec. I'm just waiting for all these green lights to go. I haven't got the fastest internet connection. One more, this little one here. I'm just waiting for him to go green. Come on. Okay, I'll see if I can do it without him. Okay, so this is our language centre back home in Newcastle. Plain little place. Oh. Hang on, I'm going to start that again. So you're going to see a dot. Okay, now we're getting a better picture. So there's Australia. See one of those every one of these red dots is where Miromaa is now being used. Papua New Guinea, Borneo in Malaysia. Malaysia? Yep, Borneo in Malaysia. 2 places in India asked for our program, sponsored. We gave that to them. They filled out a form, and we gave it to them. One guy in Kenya, 60,000 words he's entered into Miromaa. And here we are. We've got Alaska, Canada, throughout United States here. We've got some connections in Cuba, Peru, Brazil, and either side of the Amazon. So people have asked for some help there because they wanted it's like, wow, the linguists want to empower the community themselves to be able to do this work. And then back to Australia. Oh, hang on, no, we're not. We found another world. I was going back. So that's where Miromaa has gone to today. And you're probably saying, okay, show us Miromaa. What is it? Okay, so hopefully, I'm not sure if that's the next slide. I've only had, was it 4 hours sleep I've had in about 48 hours, I think. Okay, so I'm like, oh no, I'll go back. Okay. Oh, where's Miromaa? Oh, there. Oh, was I supposed to start it up there? Oh, okay. So here's Miromaa. I'm gonna have to try and speak louder, okay? So I've started up Miromaa, okay, and there's going to be people here who tomorrow will be learning more about it. But when I've started up Miromaa, it's come up and asked for a username and a password. Why do I have to have a username and a password? Because language is special. It's knowledge. It's sacred. It's our communities ask for this. Ownership, control, who has access to it? You know, because we need to be protective of it. We can't touch it, but it's probably our most valuable asset, which we have. It's our first form of identity. It's what tells us who we are, where we're from. So I'm going to log into Miromaa. Put in my name and my secret password. So here's the start of Miromaa. And so what I'd like to do is just show you a bit about Miromaa. And there's the screen. It's like, is that it? Who thought that? Come on, be truthful. Hey, we've got one hand. No, it's itchy head. The screen I'd like to show you first off, just so it will help you for the next things which I show you. It's divided up into a couple of areas. Here's the language area. Here's the translation language area. In our example, that's English. This area here is what I commonly call my bits and pieces area. So all the bits and pieces and the other stuff happens. So all I call it is that. Here's the multimedia. This is the fun place. This is where the language, I think, comes to life. This is someone else's thing up here using symbols, Roman characters. And over here is our other place for other stuff. That's how the screen is divided up when you see. So what I'd like to do is show you. Remember over on the walls painted the kangaroo and I didn't tell you how he got his tail. It hurt, but I'll show you a kangaroo. And that word is Moani. And I think it's M-O-W. Oh. There we go. How did we know that I got that right? What was the thing which you thought, yeah, he's got that right, that's the kangaroo? Picture. You've seen it. It's in your face there. There's a second kangaroo there. There's audio.
Moane.
Moani. Waratawa. Billion. It's a sentence being spoken. Kangaroos are hunted using a spear. Some video. The male kangaroo. There's a young one. And I've got an activity here as well. I can pull up an activity. So here's a pencil line art drawing. We're using the trace font for the young kids, and they can colour it in and paint it, do whatever they like. There's some language down the bottom, they can start to practice, and the teachers have access to this within Miromaa, if they have it, of course, but it's there. Now, Mawani, we found that in that book. Do you think I carry that book around with me all the time? No. And I also don't carry this, because it's all in language, it's all entered into Miromaa. But what we've done is here, I'm going to click over on the right hand side. Here's the actual book. Oh, that one there. Here's the book. So I can actually go through, and it says on the right hand side, go to page 88, and you'll find where that was found. So what we're doing is we're even digitising the old resources and adding them into Miromaa. Miromaa is this safe place where this is all happening. So I'll give you, you can tell me what this word is. Madara. Hand.
Matara.
And there's a story here.
I have a karaka so I can sing, and nurayam for hearing things.
So Miromaa is storing all of these things. There's another activity sheet, I think, maybe. Or no, just a stencil of a hand which can be used, probably cut out and so forth there. Kids can colour that in, and so forth there. So you can see that Miromaa is, while we're looking at the text, we're entering that part into it. It's the multimedia which is helping bring the language to life. Because our languages are predominantly oral languages. And the written part is this in-between thing which we've had to just do to record the languages for various reasons and so forth today. I'll show you another one. Here's the word for head. We've got
Walan miran warn bangtina, warn bangtina. Walan miran warn bangtina, warn bangtina. Naikanuran karakana kuro. Walan miran warn bangtina, warn bangtina.
So we're all going to stand up now. I'm going to teach his head, shoulders, knees, toes. I'm only joking. It's too late in the afternoon to be doing that. But we've got some posters. Look at that colourful poster printed out, poster size, put on the walls around the preschools and the kindergartens and the other schools and so forth there for the older kids, everyone. So it's actually pretty simple. It's pretty easy. But what we've done is still the only language program. I'm only showing you a little snapshot of this, but this is still today the only language program aimed at Indigenous people to empower them. So the people who have used Lexic Pro before, hands up. A few of those people. Who has produced a dictionary of their language, or would love to have a goal of producing a dictionary for their language, or a word list and so forth? How long do you think it could take you to produce a dictionary for your language? If you've got, say, if you had all the language, still all the words in Miromaa, who's used Lexic Pro? Have you used it to make a dictionary yet? No, Phil? No. Is it a goal to use Lexic Pro to make? Do you think for those things? No. There's some others to be able to, but it's a good tool. Hey. what I'd like to do is show you. So in Miromaa right at this moment, in this area, there's 2,665 words here. What I'd like to do is make I want to make something for you, show you how easy it now is to use Miromaa, because it's one thing putting all your language into Miromaa. The other part is that what we would like to do is get the information out and get it out to community to meet their needs there. So I'm going to set myself the challenge of making a dictionary, have it sitting in Microsoft Word, if all this works out fine, okay, colour pictures in around 3 minutes. Does that sound like you're rolling your eyes at me? This guy is on something. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put down the microphone for a moment and see if I can do that, okay? And show you what and how easy and how technology is helping us. So I'm just going to go up into Miromaa and I'm just going to get some words out. What I'd actually like to do is our medical centre would love a dictionary, and for all the nurses and the doctors and the reception staff and so forth, would love to have a book with all of the words relating to the body, both internal, external, and so forth there. They want to know what the language word is for blood, and for arm, and walong for head, and so forth, to be able to talk to community and hopefully understand what the ailments are. So it's just not singing head, shoulders, knees, toes. It's about helping community to stay healthy as well. So let's produce a resource to help them. I've got 3:24 on my watch here. And I'm just going to go through. I want to make sure that I'm only printing out the unrestricted words, because there could be some sexual words in here relating to the body. There could be ceremonial words, because Miromaa does that as well. It can help you classify all of your language. Just going to export the language out. Put this on. Save this on the desktop. I'm just going to call this body. Oh, that's done. Minimise there. So out of here. So here we are now in Microsoft Windows. This is a freaky Windows. It's that new one, Windows 8. I don't know what Windows people use, if you use Windows, but this is a bit freaky, this one. This is what we just made. So Miromaa has just made that. Does that look familiar for some people? This is how a lot of people worldwide are sitting in front of a notepad file program on their computer, and are recording our language exactly like this here. And they're making these long things. So that's it there. Main thing is I've just got it there, I know that. I'm going to start up this program now called Lexic Pro. I've shown you a little bit about Miromaa, and it's easy to use, seriously. But what I'd like to do, I don't know any of these people here, by the way, but I'm going to bring this file into Miromaa. Like I said, it's 3:26. I'm talking too much here. Has anyone been to a class and learned how to use Lexic Pro? So I know, I think for some elderly people that there's been some Lexic Pro courses held here before. Just going to sort. Then this is a little wizard. I'm just going to click next, next, next. So I've got, no, I don't understand any of that stuff that they're going on there. I just want the good stuff. And what we've got is this.
Antan.
Valkakako.
So everything's there.
Karanko. Spittle.
No, I'm going to now make that. Let's export that into a document, because Lexic Pro is actually a pretty good program, and but I can't use it on its own. Miromaa is what has helped me make Lexic Pro a great program to use. I'm just clicking these things. Don't know what I'm. No, it's easy to use. Wizards in here, a couple of clicks, the computer's just going to do some work now, and it's 3:27. I think it's about 3 minutes on, and this is what I've done. Here I am now in Microsoft Word, and I could go and send this down to the printer and print this out, get it down to the medical centre, copies all to all the staff, all the doctors, the nurses, the reception staff, everyone there, the dentists, everything, and there's the language, you know, for them to start to use. So for people who have used LexiPro, have got that. Does making a dictionary seem daunting after seeing that? It did prior, maybe. Hey, if anyone had that, but that's how easy it can be, and that's what has happened when we developed Miromaa to empower us to do this, because we want to do the dictionary. Here's our dictionary. At work, I brought everything over here. They're wondering, where's that book gone? Because everything's here. I brought it all over. Here's our dictionary. So this is our actual Awabakal dictionary, yeah, which was printed by a couple of fellas who don't know what they're doing, and we're pretty cheap at doing this thing as well, but here it is. We publish it ourselves, we print it, we bind it, we don't do anything like that, because every day, you've seen how easy it was for me to print that? Every day we're finding new words. We're unlocking more knowledge about the language. Bayang bayang is not butterfly. That's white fella's way of understanding of simple translation. Our way is bayang bayang is actually one who flutters. There's more to our language. We know that. So I can go in there and quickly change bayang bayang and update it from butterfly, because that's what they did in this, because they were caught up in the other ways. Hang on, no. It's one who flutters, and quickly do it, change it, print it, off we go. Tomorrow I've got a different dictionary. We're up to, I think, edition number 220 possibly of our dictionary. We can roll them out, always up to date. So that's just a little quick demonstration which I just wanted to do and show you, and we're able to make a dictionary in 3 minutes from Miromaa and something else there. So today as well is an example of Santa Fe Indian School in New Mexico, in Santa Fe, New Mexico. They're actually using Miromaa to support the as a tool for the students when they record the language and are learning their language for the first time, their students. And they're using Miromaa as a tool there. So I'm that lady who gave us a hard time and wanted to take our money away. She's actually the best thing that ever happened to us. And if she didn't do what she did, she wouldn't have lit that fire. And so I actually thank her these days. But when do we want to do this? Yep, we'll do this. Okay, so what I'd like to do is 30. Who's yawning? We've got a volunteer coming up. What I'd like to do is let's enter some language into Miromaa. Okay, I'd like to show you actually how easy it is to use. And we've got all the equipment here. Let's work on this North American tour to Texas, Santa Fe, Santa Rosa in California, of course, Tucson. We've brought all of our equipment because of what we're going to be doing here over these 3.5 weeks we're here. So we thought, while we've got all the equipment, let's actually do something with it and have you involved. So what I'd like to do is actually have someone put up their hand and come and be guided in actually digitising a page in this book. and we're going to enter then some words from this book into Miromaa. So who would like to come forward? Who would like to put up their hand and help us out? So after someone to digitise. Yep. So you've got that page there. So I'm just going to actually yeah, you do your thing. Yep.
Alright, so what we're going to do, can you hear me okay? Nope. So what we're going to do is show you a little bit about the way that we've done our work back at our language centre. And Joe here is going to digitise. The first thing that we do, obviously, with a book of this value is digitise the whole book. But today, with Joe, we're going to digitise just one page and upload it to a file in Miromaa to start with.
And I'm just creating a brand new Miromaa language file.
Here's our camera set up here. So, Joe, could you turn the camera on? So we'll place our book. Do you think that looks about right? Yeah, do you want to do it? So we just move either the book or the
Careful,
stand.
that will cost us $500.
If you like. So you can have a look through your camera. You could maybe either zoom it or we could move the camera.
So I've created a new Miromaa database here for this language. I've just called it Aldi, and there's 0 language in it. There's nothing in it. So I'm going to put our first words into it here.
Yep. So we're happy with our first photo?
Now,
Okay, excellent.
the languages which are living and are spoken, there's many people here. Do you still think your language is at risk? Yeah? So whatever it is, whether it's the speakers we have today, whether it's the written examples of our language, we need to gather all that in. We need to capture that, bring it all together, make sure we're looking after it properly. We've got an opportunity today to use technology to help us save all of this, because we still don't know what's about to come tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you, you don't want to be in our situation. 150 years we've had the challenge of bringing it back. So there's the, thank you. We've got the image on here. I'm just going to hang around. It's all, keep you, just grab it, yeah, grab a seat. So I'm going to, so with what we've just done is we've just taken an image of it. I'm going to bring that image into Miromaa. Ooh, didn't come out properly. It hasn't come out properly. Showing fine there. That's So I'm just going to bring this source into Miromaa first off. Because what we're doing, Miromaa is holding every single bit of information about our language. It's holding all of our digitised documents. It's holding all of our recordings, audio recordings of our speakers, everything there. And I'm just now bringing that image into Miromaa, just locating it on the desktop there. Okay, so I've got that in into Miromaa. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to, there's a word which we're going to take off that, which has just been digitised, and it was the word for kangaroo. Is there any kangaroos in over here this way? Has any seen them in zoos or anything like that? Yeah?
No.
No, not in zoos or no kangaroos in zoos? Cool, because usually we go and break them out. Get them out of there. You didn't lucky enough, fella. You didn't ask to go in that place.
Okay, so Darren's going to enter the word in the Awabakal word, moani, and the translation to English. Joe has digitised the book for us over there, so we have the photo of the page with moani in it. And the first thing that Darren's going to do is enter that source.
Because someone's going to say to us, where'd you find that word? I don't believe you. Or it could be, there's other information around that. All we took out of that at the moment was moani, the kangaroo. But so what we're doing is making sure that we tag it to there, and it was found on page 54. So we've noted that information as well with it there. We're cataloguing that.
And in the meantime, in our sound recording studio over here, Philip is going to pronounce the word, and we're going to upload that audio file straight away into Miromaa.
I'm going to just while getting ready, I'll go looking for a picture. So within Miromaa, we can actually launch Audacity. Has anyone heard of Audacity before? Used Audacity for capturing audio, the spoken song. And we're just going to test first off. So let's have a listen. Would you like to say anything at all? Let's just do a test.
It's up to you. Say anything.
Moani.
Did we get it? Is our equipment working, do you think? Yep. Because we could visually see via the WAV file, the image, where the word was spoken there. So now I'm going to get it ready for our recording.
Moani. Moani. Moani.
No, I'm not happy with that one, hey?
Yep, let's redo it. So say it a bit slower.
Moani. Moani.
It's a bit playing up a little bit.
We'll move it, we'll just move it. Let's try one more time.
Might be a technology just doing its.
Moani.
Ah, that looks better.
Moani.
So are we happy with that? It's a good quality sound? Yeah. Well done.
You're talking Aboriginal now. We share our language, hey? I'm just going to say that word now, and I'm just going to call it kangaroo. Not going to label, like it doesn't matter what I label it, just put that on the desktop. Actually, I should go, just wasn't sure. I'm going to export a selection. So in Miromaa, here we have the image, we've got, there's the digitised, oh, it's playing up. It's being shown there, it's playing up on my computer. Pretend that you're seeing the book, okay? Something is happening at the moment. So just pretend the book, okay? The book. Photo was taken, yes, yeah. And I'm just going to add now that audio. So we're in Miromaa now. Oh.
Moani.
Cool.
But we want to do something else.
So what we'd like to, first off, they able to sit?
They can sit or they can stay. Would you like
Yep.
to sit?
Yep.
Okay.
Can hang around
Yep.
and... So is that okay? Is that easy, what we just seen? You think that's easy? Yep.
Yeah.
If anyone's done it in Lexic Pro, how easy is that compared to Lexic Pro? Other programs that you may have used, Phil?
It's easier.
Yep. All the way from Australia down under. He's like, yeah. But okay, so the next.
I'm going to show you another couple of things. So now I'm using an iPod Touch and a Zoom IQ5 is. So even when I'm not at the language centre, if I've got this with an app, which is something that we'll probably go through and show you how to obtain tomorrow, I can make another recording. So what we're going to record here is a sentence for that file. So, okay, so we're at home or we're somewhere else, and we've made that recording.
I'm in Newcastle, Australia.
Yeah, and I'm going to, through this app, click share. Using a program called SoundCloud.
Okay,
I've
so
just uploaded that from where I am to this program SoundCloud.
So I've now logged into our SoundCloud account, and I'm just going to refresh the page and. Oh, it's just the internet. Oh, the top one. So let's play it.
Mawani hops in the grass.
So remember, I'm back in Newcastle or anywhere else. And so I'm now just going to download that. So you know that term that sometimes people say, you know, like no wires? You know, it was all like free and not worried. Yeah. Save the file down to the desktop. I'm going to now add so we've got this.
Moani.
And now we have this.
Mawani hops in the grass.
Does someone want to be a kangaroo for me for a video? Okay, so many devices that you can use for video recording, but for example, I'm just going to take a short...
Everyone yell out Moani.
Moani. A bit louder, come on. Stop there.
We'll get either MacBook Pro or both of them might come up. So what we're showing you is who's got an iPhone or a phone with a touchscreen. Who's got these new things? Yep. Come on, everyone's got smartphones now. Don't be shy. So what we're showing you is that we've got things in our pockets. We can be in all the unlikely places and something's happening and we need to capture it. Whether it's an iPhone up our sleeve or a Samsung thingy and or an iTouch and so forth there, we could be using these devices to capture knowledge. We've got things where you only get one chance. We know our elders, our knowledge holders, our speakers there can be also getting very old, and it's a lot of effort needed and time and maybe inconvenience to get them. We might only get one chance to record it, saying something. Does it come? No, that's not.
So what I was showing you using an app, PhotoSync, is again, if you're out, capturing a video or some activity, as Darren said, there's a way of actually then just clicking on that and syncing that to the computer, say back at the language centre or back home, which is what I was going to show you. But
you might be able to find it now.
it's just having a small problem.
No, it's not. No, we won't talk about that. But overall, it's just the internet network which we're on here at the moment. I'm using my iPad. Over there is the internet connected out there to get all this into here and so forth. So we're just, because we're in the room, it's just not. I don't have very strong internet access. It's just what's happening here at the moment. So yes.
What's your SoundCloud search name?
Oh, we're private.
Oh, no wonder.
I don't know who you are. No, I'm only joking. Could be FBI. No,
Miromaa.
Yeah, we don't. Our audio, which we're putting up privately. So we don't want it. We're protective of it. Like I said, I don't know who you are. I don't know if I want to give you our language at the moment. I don't know if you're going to go and do something with it. You're going to have to go through some protocols before we work out whether you're okay, friend or foe.
So sorry, that with the PhotoSync didn't quite work, but you can understand using any device, whether it is your mobile device or a camera, and plugging it in, and very quickly the same way searching for that and uploading it to your Miromaa file.
So what I want, we're very close to finishing. I know we're fairly. Do I still have 9 minutes, but? Okay, cool. So before you finish up, what I'd like to do is let someone else speak for a moment. Whoop. I lost stuff up. Oh, that's what happened. I lost stuff up there. No one didn't tell me. Where's the maroon gone? I've lost my connection to the... Apple TV. Wait, 1 sec. Sorry, I've just lost the connection to the... It's yeah, I can't. It's not. It's not mirroring. I can't get it. All right, I'll quickly get it hooked up and finish off what I'd like to. Here we go.
This is the Thursday, September 9th edition of Native America Calling. I'm your host, Harlan Casuto. I used to feel guilty about not knowing my tribal languages, except for just a few words or a few phrases here and there. But as I've done a little research on the disappearance of tribal languages or indigenous languages, it's not just my tribes. It's happening all over the world. It's happening on every continent, in every country, to every indigenous peoples on this earth. And as the elders in my tribes began to pass away, there was less and less of the old languages being spoken. Until now, today, it is almost non-existent, even within our ceremonies. And it's disheartening, to say the least. And you know what? It's not an overstatement in my mind to say it's tragic. I remember when I was young, I would hear both my Sac and Fox and Iowa elders speak in our tribal languages. And it made me feel special. Even though I didn't know exactly what they were saying, but I certainly got the sense that there was something being said that had to do with love for our relatives, the land, and life itself. And then sometimes, you know what, it gets so disheartening that I'm thinking, you know, what's the point? Should we just give up on keeping our native languages alive? You know, and then I come to my senses and I think, you know what? We have to continue to fight and use every available resource on earth to keep them alive for our future generations.
So in that, this is what we're doing now. Yes, use every available resource on earth.
Trying to learn some words, Eli. Yep. Can you press the sound button, buddy?
You're eating.
Okay. Yep, you're going to say the word after, remember? So I have to go back. No, it's alright, you can do that one.
Watering.
Next picture.
Karamata.
Good work. Next one.
Bakai.
Next one.
Yarrow. Naika. Yiri. Boykun.
Every one of these pictures and audio recording is in Miromaa. Here's the app here. Got it on the iPad. We haven't launched it on the App Store at the moment, but what we're actually in the process of doing is we're currently rebuilding Miromaa from scratch right at this moment, and we're making a whole brand new version of it. So we're taking it from 2005 technology to 2014 technology. And a couple of clicks of the button, Miromaa will prepare, even Miromaa now, will prepare all of your language, package it all up in a little package for us. And if you like, well, this actually does cost, we will help you develop your first language app. Yeah, we're having the words being pronounced. These are just single word pronunciation. We're not talking phrases or sentences just yet. We're just talking about the single word pronunciations and having the multimedia there. So like, if you remember when I looked up Mataura, there it is here. You know, we can zoom in, have a look at the fingernails. We can, if we have the language words, the fingers, you know, we can do that. And that's, I'm pressing it and the sound's all in it and so forth there. So that's what we're doing next. It's not just about Miromaa, it's about needing to be able to print the word list and the resources and so forth. We had still more planned. It's either stay back till 6 o'clock while we finish off, or we finish up now and we can have some lights. And just quickly, do we have, if anyone has any other questions, or does anyone have any questions? But we're going to stop here because I know it's usually about a big, not just day, but by the sounds of it, days. And yeah, does anyone have any questions? Otherwise, we have a website, we're available on email and Skype and all those types of things, and we'll stop there.